video with a poem, and then we'll just get right into the topic. Okay, so here we go. Okay. A supercilious, chauvinistic cloud comes over his body, and a little green goblin jumps out of this large figure. And this is where the escapades begin. A nasty, foggy, green cloud of smoke approaches me. Voices of anger, frustration, and expressions of guilt are coming from this misty cloud. It reaches me, and this physiological response revs up in me as I'm trying to, as I try to get back to my zen. My heart becomes this engine ran by the green goblin. Fast forward, it's time for a sit down with the goblin. He takes on the face of the large figure. The acting begins, the lies spew in a way he believes to be melodic. Wry expressions taken on and controlled by the monster. In the middle of the sit down, the cloud becomes a ring, circling. Sincerity ceases to exist. Uncertainty and unpredictability remains. During this escapade, the goblin is jumping in and out of this conversation. I eject myself from this badly calculated, constructed scene. It ends with the large figure having two faces. The dark green cloud of ugliness and guilt circles me, and before I know it, it has encompassed me. A supercilious, chauvinistic cloud. So today, I'm on this hill. I wanted to give just a different location. I wanted to be in the shade. So yeah, that's why I'm over here. So today we're going to be talking about emotional abuse. That's what this poem is about. And we're going to just discuss the criteria and how do you know. A lot of times we're like, what's happening right now, what's going on right now is not okay. It's not okay, something's not right. So I'm just gonna, speak on some of the criteria that, stands out and that you'll know. So, and the reason why I believe, with quarantine and COVID, the pandemic, domestic violence is on the rise, because people are unable to go out and, use those distractions. And now they're being forced to face themselves and deal with certain things, and, certain things occur. So we're going to start off with the criteria. Saying things designed to make you feel crazy or stupid, to feel like, I can't be crazy, I can't be stupid. And usually that's done through unaccountability, denying truth, gaslighting. And in gaslighting, the aim is to sow seeds of doubt, to make you question your perception, your memory, your judgment. And the aim of this is to evoke cognitive dissonance, so a conflict, within your mind. Another one is deflection, putting the responsibility on others. Putting the responsibility on others for your own behavior, blaming others for your own behavior, which is basically unaccountability, not taking responsibility. Using sex, money, privileges, and or other favors to make up for wrongdoings, trying to isolate the person is another one. Character assassination, so, coming for your character. Control and shame. those are tactics that are used trivializing. So, no, stop it. Like you're making it a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not that serious. Like downplaying. Using guilt, turning the tables. Turning the tables is basically another way of flipping the blame onto you. Okay? So, yes, that is the criteria for emotional abuse. And usually adverse childhood experiences will lead to this person acting in such ways that put out this abuse onto you. And I think, a lot of us, a lot of time people, when it comes to adverse childhood experiences, people do not want to deal with the pain. They're not going to try to break the curse. They're not going to try to break the cycle. And that includes emotional fortitude. That includes strength and facing yourself. And, if people are not always ready and not prepared to do it, and like Novi said, I think Novi on Instagram and on Garden of Consciousness, she says, some of y'all really don't fuck with yourselves. So part of breaking cycles and breaking, curses and really dealing with these adverse childhood experiences, whatever traumas they may be, and usually people who are emotionally abusive or abusive, they experienced it on, growing up. They witnessed it, they experienced it. So a lot of people don't want to face it, and deal with it, because it kind of leads to an unknown, because some people associate all this past hurt and all this pain and all this trauma and all the things that happen to them with who they are. And I think when you really let go of that stuff, and when you really just let it be, well, not let it be, but let go, dismantle it, break it down, release it, heal, that's when you come into who you really are supposed to be, your authentic self. That's you coming into the light, you coming into consciousness and enlightenment. Being within your true self, not this ego, not this, not the past, not the things that happened to you. I hope I'm articulating. I wish I could articulate it, in another way, but I feel like this should be sufficient. I mean, if you know, you know. So I read, a lot of people spend their life being in their fleshy selves, being, not really in who they are. And I think the main thing is people do not know who they are outside of their traumas, outside of the things, because they become so attached to, oh, this is me, you just have to accept it. Oh, this is me, you just got to deal with it. This is me, and it is what it is. People don't do the unpacking. And some people say, oh, everything, certain things work for everyone, but I think unpacking is something that everyone should be doing. Doing those mental breakdowns, the mental, unpacking of this happened to me and this is why I think this way, or really breaking things down in your mental, and that can lead to a breakthrough. It can really lead to a breakthrough and enlightening within yourself that can allow you to address toxic qualities, toxic traits, allow you to address self-harm, self-hate, things that hold you back. So that's pretty much, I mean, I may do a part 2 to this, but yeah, the poem is personal, so that was not the complete poem. To close out the video, I'm going to read the, last portion of it, last part. This is what your father did to your mother, and what your father's father did to your father, and your grandfather to your grandmother. Did you think I was blind in that moment? This monster never died. It just comes out to play when ego is bruised and the fragile esteem is threatened. I'll never be accountable for the way you see yourself and the cycle you decided not to break. Only thing I forgive is the way I played myself when I decided to be present in your space after already seeing this monster come out to play. A supercilious, chauvinistic cloud. Leah. Low. Losa. So that's it. And I encourage people, you're not crazy, because that's what they'll try to do. They'll make you think you're crazy, and what the heck's going on. You'll feel completely drained. So you're not crazy, hon. You're not crazy. And I encourage, to call a hotline, seek help, however you need to, seek comfort however you need to, in a healthy way. And I encourage, to look up more of the criteria, because the criteria can be quite lengthy. It's more than what I just mentioned, but those were the ones that, are like the huge red flags that you'll even deal with in other relationships with other people. So, yeah. So I encourage you guys to go online, look up the criteria, call a hotline if necessary, seek the help that you may need to seek, whether that's therapy or just, painting, writing, talking to a friend, whatever you need to do. So, bye. Love, peace, blessing. Love, peace, blessings.